Black Lives Matter under scrutiny as 26 BLM chapters sue the organization and its leaders, accusing them of defrauding local activist groups and stealing more than $10 million in donations. Back in April, we also learned BLM leaders bought a secret $6 million mansion in Southern California for, quote, safety. So, after raising $90 million after George Floyd's death, is BLM more caught up with the cause or the cash? Here to react, Color Us United's Christian Watson. Christian, great to see you.
Good evening, YouTube. This is Rochelle Tannen. It's September 3rd, 2022. It's 6:13 p.m. Happy Labor Day weekend to all of you that are celebrating. Thank you for all the new subscribers. And I'm jumping on for a quick video, guys. Always keep in mind, I'm negative and I'm hating. And today I'm going to be hating on BLM. The news clip in the beginning, that's a Fox News clip. That story came out about 5 hours ago. Seems like, I believe it was 26 small activist groups are suing the founders and co-founders of Black Lives Matter. They're claiming they defrauded them and all this stuff. Now, we all know Black Lives Matter was one of the best marketing schemes in the last 12 years, certainly the last decade. Now, I'm the type of person, I try to warn a lot of Negroes, you guys are being used by Black Lives Matter. And lo and behold, it's come to fruition. When all those riots and things were going on, I got caught in those riots. The day they popped off here in Philadelphia, I was working my second job in Center City. And I couldn't get home because they had to stop the buses and the train. A lot of old people got stranded and caught up in those riots. I didn't agree with the riots. I didn't agree with BLM. And as I said then, and I'll say now, there was a better way to go about the injustice, or if you viewed it as an injustice, of the black men who died at the hands of these white cops. But let's be clear, most of those black guys that died at the hand of these officers, they weren't choir boys. Freddie Gray down there in Baltimore, he was a known dope dealer. Eric Gardner up in New York, his own wife said he was lazy. Eric Gardner had like 5 or 6 children, and he was outside selling Lucy cigarettes. That's not enough income to support 6 children. He should have been working. And the man they made arguably the most money off of, George Floyd, I can't breathe. George Floyd has gotten his own statue. And this man, no, he didn't deserve to die the way he did. But he didn't have clean hands. Because had he not went into that Arab-owned store to try to pass off fake currency, all those events went to action. Now, in my personal belief, and this is why I would love a lot of these Arab-owned, Dominican-owned stores out of the black neighborhood, because they don't give an inch. You know? But that's a discussion for another video. He shouldn't have tried to pass off that fake currency. Now, all these brothers, they were known by the police. They weren't pillars of the black community. And our cities got burned down under a lie. Black Lives Matter was a lie. Those 3 black women, and I use that term loosely, it was all about the money. As a 42-year-old woman in today's society, you know, there comes times, and this isn't just for black women, this is for women, American women altogether. There comes a time where women need to sit down and shut up and stop trying to be the leaders of these things, because I'm starting to think biologically with a lot of things, you don't know how to lead. You're easily swayed. And BLM is a prime example of despicable, underhanded women that just want to make some money because they're not talented or good at anything. They just want to make money. And they did it knowing that a lot of black youth have been misled in several different ways, and they know black people are superficial. Now, the founders of BLM, they just bought a couple mansions out there in California. One was for $6 million. One of them had the gall to have a party for her jailbird son. You know? Now, meanwhile, since BLM, certainly since the Biden administration, black on black crime has skyrocketed. And I hear a lot of black people saying, well, what about black on black crime? BLM isn't giving any money. I was told, and I'm going to tell you blacks like that this. When I asked that question when BLM was at their height, I said, well, what are they doing for all these black on black crimes? I was told in these words, and I quote, if you want to do something about black on black crime, you should start an organization. Now that these people have made close to $100 million and haven't given a freaking penny to any of these communities, now y'all want to know what they're going to do about black on black crime. That's not what the organization was for. If they truly cared about Black Lives Mattering and all that good shit, the minute that money started pouring in, they would have started reinvesting in the neighborhoods, not buying mansions. If they really thought Black Lives Matter, all Black lives should matter. Whether it's a black person like me disagreeing with the majority, or the blacks like me who get called coon and white and all these other things, our lives should matter too. Because a lot of us tried to warn you, you were being used. And you're being used in several different ways, but you're seeing now you are being used. Same thing with them leading the defund the police propaganda. Now, our cities and our leaders are so weak. Our society so weak. A lot of these foolish mayors and political people, politicians, signed off for this shit just to get votes, knowing good and goddamn well that this country, you need police. Black people don't want to hear it, but you need police. Right now in Philadelphia, they're down 600 cops. Across this country, they're down cops. Cops are much like teachers in this country. No one wants to go in these fields. I wonder why. You need cops. Now the police are defunded and there's so much crime going on from coast to coast and black people are wondering where the police are. I can't blame them. I can't blame them for not wanting to police this shit. Because you're dealing with a bunch of young people, the people that were young, especially at the height of BLM. That the BLM protest, it almost sent a signal that these young people don't have to listen to anyone. A lot of these young black people don't have any fathers. They don't even have grandfathers. They don't want to listen to teachers. They don't want to listen to police. They don't want to listen to anyone. And older black people, you're just as guilty. Because when those riots and things were going on, you should have got with these young people and said, look, we tried this in the 60s, first of all, 60s and 90s, and it didn't work. There are better ways to go about dealing with injustice. If you really want to deal with the injustice of your community, get your families together. Get your women in line. Get your children in line. Take control of the commerce in your neighborhood so you don't have to worry about passing off a fake 20 to an Arab who doesn't give a shit about you, just about your money. Get those things in order, and then you won't have to really deal with the police. And if you do have to deal with the police, you'll have a leg to stand on. But no, not you black people. No. You went and supported these crooks. And a lot of you liberal whites too, you supported this BS. And never forget, liberal whites are some of the most racist whites in my opinion. But y'all supported this shit, and now y'all are crying because it's your house is getting broken into. It's your business is getting looted and ransacked coast to coast. It's your expensive watches out there in LA getting ripped off your fucking arms. You get hit by cars and shit. You get carjacked here on the East Coast and whatnot. You liberal whites supported this bullshit for your own racist reasons. Because true conservatives, true white conservatives are some of the best people I've ever met. White conservatives, this is why I'm a conservative. They never try to tell me how to think like liberal whites have. Even with Black Lives Matters, liberal whites try to tell me what's black and what's not. Just to show how racist they are. But you liberal whites, you signed on for this bullshit, so you deserve it too. Because a lot of young people that around 18 to about 21, that traditionally those are the ages a lot of people go into police academies and law enforcement or go to school for their law degree, some degree in law to go into law enforcement. A lot of young people are saying F that. And I can't blame them because no one has to have respect for the police. And yes, there are racist cops. And yes, there are asshole cops. I've dealt with an asshole cop or two in my life. But there's ways to handle them too. And black people, there's a lot of assholes in our community. A lot of assholes that get held up as pillars, much like your Freddie Gray, much like your Eric Gardner, and George Floyd, who got a fucking statue. This is why BLM made $90 million, because they know your stupidity. They know you're superficial. They know you'll buy into something that's popular instead of thinking for yourself. In this instance, guys, I actually think BLM should keep every penny of that $90 million. And it's probably a lot more, too. I think Fox is being conservative with $90 million. It's probably a lot more. Because BLM went around the world. So, I think they should keep every penny of that money. Because if you were that foolish to feed into that nonsense, they deserve the money. They let you know they don't give a shit about you. They haven't given a penny to an organization since their height. Haven't offered to rebuild some of these small pharmacies and things that had to go out of business after the riots. They ain't to bring no money back to the community, but Black Lives Matter. And as I said earlier, all Black lives should matter, not just the ones that agree with one ideology versus the other. If Black lives truly matter, the blacks that have different opinions shouldn't be getting called coon or white or whatever have you for having a different opinion than the majority. So, since coons like me, white people like me, and all that stuff, since we're the bane of black society, BLM, you go spend that money. As Jesse Lee Peterson would say, shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson, them 3 fat black lesbians deserve every fucking penny. And I hope the judge throws this lawsuit out. And on that note, guys, I'm going to be working on another video about Brandon's speech, his scary red speech here in Philadelphia. But again, thank you for the new subscribers, and I'm out, guys.